Hello and welcome everybody to RSC Match Night. This is 13, I believe. This is Wex Casting with Captain Fish, and your streamer tonight is Tuxedo Marks. We got a great schedule for you. We've got a prospect match and a contender match. The first match is the prospect match, which is the Foglets versus the Jersey Devils. And later on, we've got the Microwaves versus Mothra in contender. How are you doing tonight, Fish?
I'm doing pretty good, Wix. I'm looking forward to these ones. It's going to be some pretty good gameplay. I think these prospect teams are pretty high up the table, and contender game, it's going to be that exactly what we expect, and no more and no less, and that's the ultimate beauty of it. But let's get into the stats of this first game here.
I don't think anyone said it any better. What are you seeing based off these stats here, Mr. Fish?
Looks like we have two really evenly matched teams. Jersey Devils slightly better on the offense, slightly worse on the defense. Pretty much what you'd expect. Looks like they face more shots, given that they have more saves and more goals against them. They shoot pretty well too. Really, based on these stats and my very limited knowledge of prospect, there's no way for me to tell whether there's anything between these teams at all. So it really could just come down to who lives up on the stream highlights or not. What about you?
I think we did get a really great match tonight. Both these teams seem pretty evenly matched. I mean, the shooting percentage is, it's pretty solid range between them. They're pretty close, and yeah, there's a little more saves against for the Jersey Devils, but I mean, really these teams look pretty dead even in terms of wins, losses, and I mean the goals for, yeah, they have like plus 20 goals differential there, but like that's, I think these games are gonna be more even than the stats show here in terms of like the goals and the saves. So, um, when are we waiting for everybody to get in the room here? I think everyone's in. So, oh
Also
yes, the
important
player stats.
Also important to note, as we near the end of the season, this is a in-conference matchup. Both of these teams in, let's see, Lunar Ocean, I think. And both of them, of course, top, pretty much definitely, unless both of them throw, which is pretty unlikely, going to make playoffs. But still, got to go for that higher seeding in this tight league. As we get into the player stats here, no previous championships on either of these teams. I checked that out. But interestingly, sometimes we look at these stats and we get a fourth player that's only got like 8 games, who's the obvious, fourth substitute on that lineup. But with these, it looks like we've got Dizzle for the Foglets and Scrivier for the Jersey Devils. And those are pretty much the two mainstays, and the other two sort of switch around. Doesn't seem like there's too many weak points on either of these teams.
Yeah, the shot percentage looks pretty good for just about everybody. I mean, I would say Bad Example kind of sticks out to me. He's got a 42 shot percentage, and that's pretty solid.
Mm.
Scrivier, that is a name and a half, by the way. Sounds cool. It's fun to say. But he's got 57 goals. That's tied exactly with Dizzle here, pretty much. And I think these two people are going to be the players to watch for the series as we are getting into it now. What do you expect to see for this first game here, Captain Fish? Mr. Captain Fish.
Well, I expect to see some high quality gameplay out of Scrivier. Those stats are unbelievable. Leads every player on the field in all of goals, assists, and saves. But with Nightmare also on the field on the other side, that's a player you want to make sure he keeps the Jersey Devils dreaming. Let's get into game one here.
As we get into the Foglets half, Scrivier has control of the ball now as Nightmare takes it away. He's going to try and get control of it, try and bring it into the Jersey Devils territory, but Bad Example gets a big clear over the defense. Abellionaise has nothing to do. He can't save anything there.
Well, Bad Example gives a very good example of taking advantage of bad positioning. The Foglets, let me see, what is this incredible name? Abellionaise pushed far too far upfield, about 2/3 out of his own half. Bad Example just loops it over his head, and it's easy goal 1 for the Jersey Devils.
As we get into the second kickoff of the game, it's now into the Jersey Devils half. That's a big clear. Let's see if Scrivier or Bad Example can get it out. As it just bonks right off Dizzle into Scrivier, who takes a shot, but Abellionaise is there for it. It's in the corner now. Logical and Nightmare off the sidewall as Jersey Devils now have to deal with it in their own half.
A bad example with another good clear there. He's going to follow this touch, see if he can put it inside to Logic Sol. I should have practiced these names ahead of time. They're all so bizarre. Abelian is now clearing it out for the Foglets. Might get another touch here. Allows Dizzle to push forward. Logic Sol could have put it forward to Scrivier, then been in with a chance. Not sure if he had that in his locker. But Scrivier showing why in the Prospect Division he's got such good stats with a little flare off the wall there. In the end, nothing comes of it. And it's back to Logic Sol. Other than that early goal from Bad Example, it's been mostly back and forth in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, I think this game, again, I say this every time I'm on the cast, that these first games are usually just those feeler games of, like, what can we get away with? What's the other team looking like? How can we get around them? Are there any weaknesses or any, like, tendencies that the other players have? And I think Bad Example has really only caught one time where the player was too far up.
Yeah, it's been mostly tight, mostly good rotations out of both of these teams. Scrivier again going for something in the air. Nothing came of it. Nightmare will be pushing up. Just didn't give Scrivier any room there. It's bounced off the corner. Scrivier with the clear. He is everywhere for this team. Might be in with a chance here. Bad Example is ready for that pass. In the end, it doesn't really come to him, but somehow he reaches over. A little bit slow on the defensive goal line there for the Foglets. In the end, nothing for Jersey Devils. They retain their 1-goal lead for the time being, but only the 2 shots so far in this game, both of them from Bad Example, and one of them just that lucky catching the Foglets out of position. Hopefully something else will come. That'll register a shot for Scrivier as it doesn't loop over Nightmare. He's up for that well. Dizzle plays it inside to Logic Sol, and Dizzle plays it inside the goal. Almost scuffs out Bad Example, who in the end comes back for a really good save, but Biolanese, column mayonnaise, smooth as butter, smoothing through the midfield. He's there for that loose ball, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Scrivier just quite couldn't make it to the ball there off the backboard, but I mean, great punish it from the Foglets to recognize when somebody, made a mistake, and that left the net wide open, tying the game up as we have about half a game left. This is, again, I think you were right when you said this series is going to be pretty even, and we're already seeing that in the first game, which usually has just a bunch of everything. Sometimes you have those little jitters of, like, hey, I'm on stream, or I've never played this team before, or actually I think you said these are in conference, so, like, maybe these teams are probably familiar with each other, but still, you have those, like, jitters of, like, hey, this is the end of the season, as that just pinches right in as Logic Sol just wins the 30-70 between Nightmare and Abelianese, and it just goes, right into the right half of the net.
Here's a little interesting stat line for you. They did play each other earlier this season, and it did end in a 2-2, which bodes well with both of their records so far, and is pretty much what we're expecting out of this game. Very even so far. Jersey Devils with most of the offensive, 5 shots to the Foglets 2, but yeah, it's been looking mostly even. Both teams actually mostly pretty controlled. Surprising with the relative, lack of good positioning that we can see in this tier, to have such evenly matched teams and really locked down positioning, and not that many goals actually in this game so far. As Bailinese plays that middle, and Bad Example is there for the clear. A little bit of pinball in midfield. Dizzle, can he exert some control? No, it's back out from Logic Sol. No team really able to put together more than 2 or 3 touches in a row.
Yeah, we've just been given word on how to pronounce some of these names here, as Dizzle drops one in the net to go up 2-2, or not up, I'm just kidding, tie the game. It was a prank there, guys. I was in the middle of reading a ping.
Foglets fans feels bad, man.
Yeah, Foglets tying the game up, keeping it even, just as we've properly predicted the series would be. But I apologize to Logical and Abeyanese, as your names are pronounced that proper way. I feel goofy now for getting that wrong, but all right. As we get Riviere off the sidewall down, see if Bad Example can snipe it up to the bar.
Hello.
Puts a corner pocket almost to. Wow, I mean, I gotta say, there is something about how a player moves where you just know that they're just something else, and I think I think Scrivier really has that movement. You know, they just really kind of see the flow of the game, and the way they control their car is just a little bit different. So if you're watching, just pay attention to when he's recovering or when he goes for the ball. Just in general, some of the movements he makes are just really clean.
He was up so fast for that one and beat out all of the Foglets defense. Actually, Logical, who interestingly wants his X to be pronounced like a C, fair enough, also beat out the Foglets defense on that one and just got his shot off target. In the end, I guess it's Bad Example who puts in what is the winning goal of that game one. And a lot of back and forth. Jersey Devils making good on their superior offense. But, yeah, I mean, I still expect this to be even. I still expect Foglets to be able to get something out of this. But I gotta say, now that we've been given word on how to properly pronounce the names, I might find it a lot funnier if I keep pronouncing them wrong. So, a Milanese with his goal and save, not enough. And Scrivier at the bottom of the table, that's not what you want to see if you're a Foglets fan, because you know what he's capable of. And if Scrivier wins a game without producing, then what's going to happen when he starts producing tonight?
I want to be honest. I'm Bad Example is playing exactly how I'd expected him to. He's living up to that 42 shot percentage, and I think the only player that I didn't see much of this game was Dizzle. I know he scored that one goal, but I mean to me he seems more like the team carry, and I would really like to see him just kind of go sicko mode in these next coming games to try and either tie the series or get that 3-1 or 1-3.
Yeah, look at those points numbers. Everybody in the 200s except for Bad Example, who with his 2 goals almost at the 500 mark. And that's just what the Foglets are missing that game, is that little bit of individual flair. And in the end, it's what got Jersey Devils out of the bag just in the last 15 seconds or so. So we'll see what happens going into game 2. We're looking at Dizzle probably to shine out of the Foglets, like you said. But Jersey Devils still a little bit scared to see Scrivier pop off here, because if that happens with the stats he's produced so far this season, it could get really dangerous for Foglets.
I will say, though, Dizzle has one less goal than Scrivier, so it's not like he's super far ahead, but I mean, with an air dribble like that, maybe if he double taps that, it would definitely put him a head above the rest. As Nightmare gets a little dribble play over Logical and just sinks that one to put the Foglets up 1-0. They're trying to make up for that first game loss there. Is just a nice flick over the defense.
Oh, Nightmare making sure Logical won't sleep very well tonight with that sorry 1v1 situation, and Logical just can't get in. As Dizzle tries to put this forward. It's a really important early lead for the Foglets there. Really good for morale coming into this game. Dizzle can't get another, and what would have been another dangerous touch in midfield. Nightmare up early to clear this one. Foglets looking like they're feeling themselves so far in the first 30 seconds. Ball not really coming too far out of the Jersey Devils half so far.
I am curious to see as a demo play comes out. There was earlier when Logical went for a demo play on, I think it was Nightmare.
No.
What the heck?
No.
A Bayonnaise comes through with just a slow roller as he bumps Logical out of the way. He says, "There's no one to save it if I get you out of there." Oh my goodness, that was 200 IQ.
Wow, Logical being put in 2 absolutely terrible situations and being beaten out on both of them. I really need to see Logical score a goal in this game, because that will be terrible for his morale and really bad for the Jersey Devils so far. And as both goals from the Foglets come from Nightmare and a Bayonnaise, Dizzle yet to produce. Actually, those 2 players in the Foglets almost at their point totals from last game already. It's not looking good for the Jersey Devils so far, and it's looking like this series will go 1-1. Still plenty of time to go. 4 minutes on the clock. Dizzle puts that one near post and doesn't make a mess of it. And wow, it's 3-0 early to the Foglets. Not really too superior to the Jersey Devils in shot registration, but too good.
Yeah, that was some. I mean, the Foglets have come to play in this game. They are. Something happened. Somebody, lit a fire in them. Because Dizzle, a Bayonnaise, and Nightmare have all scored, and I mean, a Bayonnaise and Nightmare both have cycles right now, so they're making plays all over the field.
Wow. Yeah, talk about lighting a fire. Put Dizzle on a grill, because this man can sizzle. In the end, it's not enough for Scrivier's shot, though, as he produces his first goal of the game. Places that very well into the far corner, just what the Jersey Devils need. Still plenty of time in this game, really. At only 3-1. And you're looking at a leader like Scrivier on this team, who not only leads in goals, but also assists and saves. He's all over the field for his team this season. That's exactly the kind of play you want him to produce, a lead from the front when you're behind. Now, bad example trying to produce something. Beats out one player. Logical does put it into the corner. Scrivier will follow this here. Could have been a smart slow play, but Nightmare was savvy to it. Bad example puts it inside. Scrivier's already up. Does Bad Example follow this? And it's over the head of Nightmare, and Scrivier, a little bit of good fortune, locks in another one, and suddenly not so controlled from the Foglets.
In the world was that angle from Scrivier? I just can't even believe that he was thinking about doing that, and it actually worked out. Holy cow!
Yeah, chip the keepers that easy.
Yeah, I know, that was crazy. That was really well. I mean, that's something you would see like at a way higher tier, but good on him, and that was well placed. Well, just everything about that was nice. And I really want to point out though, the earlier goal. It seems like Bad Example is keen on just going for a bump every time he gets the ball close to a pass. He'll just run deep and scare whoever's in the net. Like his goal, or the previous goal that Scrivier scored, Bad Example had bumped Nightmare. So I'm curious to see if a double tap comes through. What the heck is happening here in Prospect? My goodness. But I'm just curious to see how these demos are going to keep adding up for, you know, the Jersey Devils. If that's going to allow them to do stuff like this. What the heck was that? He almost doomsied it, and then Scrivier's there to clean it up for him?
Wow. Well, Jersey Devils were struggling early on. 3-0 down pretty quickly within a minute and 15 seconds. But less than half the game later, they've equaled it up 3-3. Scrivier very much leading from the front, very much taking that captain's role. I can't verify whether he actually is the captain, by the way. But a hat trick to get his team back even. Logical hasn't been able to recover from those two very tough early goals where he got demoed and then bumped. But Scrivier is making up for it, and Logical just has to do the best he can. And this Jersey Devils team is back even somehow, and now you worry for the Foglets. Like, they haven't been able to get very much happening at all since it was 3-0, since Dizzle put that third away. Scrivier rolling it towards the goal in the air. Logical puts it towards the net again. They're having to rack up the saves here, the Foglets. 6 so far on the field.
Yeah, the Foglets have really... I don't think they've had... oh my goodness, is that... Oh my gosh, Logical just hits it right off the post, but the Foglets, I think, really need some kind of, you know, like, morale boost after getting scored on 3 times unanswered.
Yeah, they seem a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah, they're really struggling right now, and I would like to point out that Bayonnaise was originally on the Jersey Devils, but he was let go, and he was actually now on the Foglets, so this is kind of, you know, a bit of a kind of a grudge match almost, I would say, for him. And, you know, depending on how this goes, he could either be happy or unhappy about his results. And Dizzle away off the defender. What an angle. He kind of forced it was like a forced error, I would say. I feel like I'm allowed to say that. You know, Logical accidentally, you know, he found himself a little bit too far ahead, and Dizzle hits that right off of him into his own net.
Logical just can't get back for that one again, and you have to feel bad for him. I can verify that Logical is the captain of this team. We'll hope to hear him putting up some good words in the locker room with a halftime here after this game, but Dizzle with his second near post finish of the game, and they've been fairly locked up on defense so far. The Jersey Devils comeback was good, but Foglets have had those 6 saves, and they're ahead in front now. There's a valiant comeback from Jersey Devils, only 22nd for them to make good fully on it, as Dizzle has an open field here, and Dizzle gets his hat trick, puts away the 5th, and Foglets, they've come back extremely well in this game. They almost let the Jersey Devils back in. Well, they really did, actually. It was 3-3, but really good strength and resolve from them to push through to the end, and hopefully, barring something bizarre in this last 15 seconds, Foglets take game 2.
Dizzle just recognizing a weird rotation there from Bad Example, he's like, yeah, he's going for mid boost, so I'm just going to take this and dump this in the net and put us up, get us an insurance goal to secure game 2. Again, this is pretty much dead even almost. Aside from that little mistake from Bad Example as third, these teams are, right with each other the whole game.
Yeah, close, like you said. And I was talking last game how the points were so even across the board, and it was Bad Example who made the difference for the Jersey Devils. But now it's relatively even across the board, and you have to think with Scrivier far at the top and Logical way at the bottom, that maybe it's Logical's lack of push on the game, and that's not necessarily talking bad on him. But he had a really rough start, and in the end wasn't able to come back. It looks like he's making a captain's choice here. He's taking the hit and subbing himself out for Calicat01, who we're going to see come into the game.
Yeah, Calicat, he's only played about 24 games this season, but he's got a pretty solid shot percentage. He's at 35%, which is, that's 1% less than Scrivier, and he's got a decent amount of assists. It's pretty even there with Logical, so we'll see if Calicat can bring anything new to the game that really switches it up on the Foglets.
Yeah.
The Jersey Jersey Devils. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Looking purely at the stats, Calicat played 10 less games than Logical. Exact same number of goals and assists up to this point, but 16 less saves. So if you look at it from a numbers perspective, Jersey Devils are taking this in an aggressive manner. They might concede more goals with Calicat not as strong on defense, but they're hoping he can use his very effective shooting to their advantage as we start Game 3, halfway through this 4-game series, and it's 1-1 even.
As we get into this Game 3 here, Scrivier takes it into the Foglets half. It appears to be a little bit of offense here coming from the Jersey Devils, but Dizzle is here to clear it away right to Nightmare, who gets a pass. It's going to bounce off the post. We'll see what happens here. A nice shot on target, but it hits the bar, and Bad Example is there to save it. I am running out of breath here. That was so much that just happened in the past 10 seconds, but the game clears up a little bit. It slows down. Scrivier here is take it as Bayonnaise is now going to take a pass play. Dizzle. Oh, couldn't get it past the defense.
It's those kind of moments from Bad Example where you really wish we had mid-game replays that weren't just goals, because you want to see that again, and that's really good from Bad Example to be able to save that so quickly, keep themselves from going down early like they did last game. And this could be dangerous, no, from the Foglets, but good from Bad Example to make himself big on that save. Really real keeper's mentality there. Foglets keeping up the push. Scrivier plays it straight into Dizzle. Inside the Calicat, whose positioning is good, and Bad Example's up early like he always has been. Almost puts that on target, and that would have been representative of his series so far. He's been effective at those high balls, but in the end, it's Foglets who make the sucker punch on that loose ball in midfield. It's a challenge that falls into Dizzle, and he puts in his 4th goal running.
Yeah, Dizzle just 50s I think Scrivier, and sets that goal up nice for Dizzle. I think Bayonnaise 50 Scrivier, and he put it up real nice for Dizzle to just sink it. As I would like to apologize, Calicat is actually a she. So from here on out, we're gonna use the proper pronouns. Scrivier air dribbles it up the field, gets it past 1, gets it past a 2nd. Let's see what he can do. Calicat jumped for it, but she couldn't make anything happen. It's in the corner now. Scrivier playing it slow as he 50s it past 1. Just kidding, he just dunks it past 2. Calicat takes a shot and she misses, just hits the post.
You get the feeling Scrivier is just too big brain for a little bit of for most of the players on the field, and including maybe even his own teammates. But in the end, it was just a hard angle from Calicat, and she couldn't quite make the connection. And you were talking earlier about how even the shots are between Dizzle and Scrivier, and it's a real strikers battle between the two, 56 and 57 respectively. But now I think Dizzle leads that battle. This he's been absolutely popping off. And he gets another one here, well timed from him, as he puts in incredibly his 5th shot of the game, only halfway gone, on his way to double digits. Another near post finish from him. He's proved very clinical at those so far, and the Foglets very much in control so far. 5 more shots than the Jersey Devils, who haven't been able to exert really anything from this match.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's another one going in, putting up 3-0. I was just about to compliment Dizzle on recognizing the awkward clear from Scrivier there, but it appears to me like a Bayonnaise and Nightmare have a decent kickoff strat that allowed that to just kind of win it for them, and it's nice fucking. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Excuse my French. Oh my gosh, forget I said anything. Oh my goodness. Scrivier just returns fire here. Unlucky, guys. I shouldn't be speaking a different language on stream.
We apologize for the foreign language.
Yep, I've never even heard of that word before. I just decided to use some. Anyway, well, forget about it. Forget about it. As we get into, it's 3-1 here, Jersey Devils. I don't know why I said that. I'm gonna let you talk.
Foglets may be shaking in their boots a little bit here. You remember in game 2 they went 3-0 up about halfway through the game. Same thing happened this game. Jersey Devils came back, make it 3-3. In the end, Foglets won, but Scrivier is making himself big again. He might need another hat trick if Jersey Devils are going to get into this game. I can't really see it coming because Foglets have been so much in control, but Scrivier, we've seen him so far in this game. We know what he's capable of. Well, he's going to have to lead his team, you feel like, if they're going to get back into it. Bad example. Putting that ball back into right to Bayonnaise. Calicat clears it off the wall. Scrivier will follow. He's got a little bit of space. It's over one, but Nightmare clatters him. As Dizzle has some space that he doesn't take with a heavy touch, but gets the 50 over Scrivier. That example on the wall. Not really able to follow. Calls in Calicat, who makes up the difference. Nightmare on the wall now. Gets himself in a good position to follow. It does so, but it's back into Scrivier. In the end, not really much happening here. The team's throwing the ball back and forth. In the end, we saw Bayonnaise get a shot off there, and that's really what's happening so far. It's just a lot of tossing, and then eventually a loose ball turns into a shot, but for the last minute and a half, it hasn't turned into anything. But this might, if not for a bad example, coming in for another crucial save, which lands him his savior title for this game. It's not been enough, though, as they remain 3-1 down.
I think Jersey Devils really have just forgotten what made it work in the first place. Is bad example, just getting these really nice touches into a demo, into a bump, into something that just forces something goofy out of the Foglets. And he just hasn't been in situations where he's able to do that. As Calicat comes in, she gets a really great save. First of all, I want to say, as someone who just was dropped in the middle of a series, Calicat has really shown up in she has a penchant for dribble plays, and I think the possession game that she has is just so clean.
To be subbed in midstream can be really mentally taxing. Calicat has been pretty locked in so far. Not enough able to make the difference for this game. But if she can keep it up, that momentum might be able to make a difference as she gets one back. Maybe just a little gift for the Jersey Devils, but they've still got 4 seconds to make something of it, and it's really good play from Calicat there to just get up faster than a Bayonnaise. 3-2 late on. Can the Jersey Devils muster something here?
I hope so, and I mean, again, Calicat just coming in, you could be a little bit cold, in the middle of a series, but she makes it look like she's still warm. She was in training, and and hopefully the ball doesn't drop. Dizzle just kills it right there, and from the other team's back wall, by the way. What the heck? That was crazy.
Yo, Dizzle's not messing around.
Yeah, he really came to win, and that puts the Foglets up 2-1 over the Jersey Devils. Is there anything, Catfish, that you can think that the Jersey Devils can do to kind of rally and get this 4th game?
Well, I guess it's a little bit surprising because Jersey Devils have been the offensively stronger team so far this season, albeit pretty marginally. That they're being outshot to this margin. 6 shots for Dizzle is mind-blowing. And 4 for Bayonnaise that he didn't even stick one away on, and registering his 2 assists on top. So, bad examples just left the game. Could Jersey Devils be bringing Logical back in, or is this a connection issue? We'll see what happens, I guess, here. But I don't really know. Seems like Jersey Devils went for that more offensive switch, bringing on Calicat, who did end up scoring a goal to her merit. But I don't really know what they can change here. Maybe to get Bad Example more involved. He was top of the leaderboard when they won that first game, and He's middled this game and not wasn't too uh, influential in game 2 either. Foglets have a chance to take what could be a crucial 3-1 win in this conference match to get their seeding up high. But Jersey Devils, I mean, they've got to want it too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I think Bad Example, he should stay in the game. He feels like he's just like a huge playmaker, and honestly, I hope this is just like a car switch, or if anything, something to get his mind off of whatever the heck he's going through. And
Well, it does
I
look
guess
like Logical's come back in the game.
look at
I
that.
don't know if that's a captain's call or if that's Bad Example subbing himself out. But it's an interesting, risky sub. It's very much a 4th game sub. As Foglets have had Jersey Devils locked in for the last 2 games. But you have to wonder whether this pays off for Jersey Devils, because it's kind of a risky move, given how Logical played in that game too. Again, we don't know how good or bad he's been this whole season. But you have to really think he's got to be on his mental game to come back into this now in game 4. And it's going to be a real test for the Jersey Devils here.
We'll say though, I mean, I do trust it. I feel like he knows his team, and that's one of those things where you just gotta trust the people on your team and trust that your captain's making the right decisions. And I think with this addition, that maybe it brings something new and it spices some stuff up that allows the Jersey Devils to really, kind of rally a little bit differently than they would if Bad Example were on the team.
I can confirm on Twitch chat that Bad Example's subbed himself out for the homie, end quote. We'll see if it pays off. Scrivier very early involved in a shot there. Plays it into the corner is Logical. Nightmare clearing it out. Calicat hopefully here to make up the difference. In the end, fakes out Dizzle a little bit there. Good play. Yeah, we have to see. The homie of Bad Example, Logical, has got to make a difference if Jersey Devils want to get the draw out of this match. Foglets will be hoping for a 3-1. Abayanese has space for a shot here. Not enough to squeeze it in near post. Logical will play it out. Takes Nightmare out of the game very well, but Dizzle loops it back over. In the end to nothing. Calicat just lets Dizzle play it into the corner. It's a back in from Abayanese over Scriv here. Logical clears it out. They'll have this play on the wall. Beats out Nightmare again, but Dizzle's always up to make up for it there. It's like multiple times now his teammates have been beaten in midfield, and Dizzle just keeps up the pressure by being right behind them and ready to make it up. But he won't be there for this one. Calicat able to put some pressure. Dizzle does eventually get there again. This guy's everywhere.
Yeah, Dizzle is really just showing up this series. In the past 2 games, he's been the goal scorer. He's been the person creating the most pressure, as he is creating some right now, making it really awkward for the defense. Logical getting absolutely murderized in the box here as Dizzle passes it right to a Bayonne. It's putting him in the corner. What a play!
Wow. Yeah, Dizzle showing up on all fronts so far. Apayanes just manages to squeeze that one in. Dizzle retains his assist, thankfully. Nightmare wasn't there fast enough to steal that one from Apayanes. Dizzle very much deserving of that assist. And Foglets up again, not that early this time. Took them all of 2 minutes to breach the Jersey Devils defense, but Apayanes with 4 shots, making good on 1. Really have to worry for the Jersey Devils at this point, especially with a team bump like that. Luckily, nobody there from the Foglets to make up for it. Nightmare will have a push here. A one-on-one on Logical, who seems to be in a tough position. Calicat there to make up for him. Logical clears it out, and you might have some space here in midfield as he takes Abayanese out of the game. Hoping to get this mid off the corner, and he does. Can Scrivier beat out the Jersey Devils defense, the Foglets defense? And he does. Scrivier evening up this game. He's been such a good striker for the Jersey Devils so far. And other than in that game 1 with Bad Example, has been pretty much the only player to make that effective offensive difference. And now that he's evened it up at halfway, the Jersey Devils are in as good a place as they've been in the last 3 games. Maybe not now with Abayanese, who just misses a shot. But Jersey Devils have got to keep this up now. They've got to get Scrivier on the end of some passes if they want to make this 2-2.
This is certainly going to be an interesting game from here on out, as miss comes from on the goal line, making things a little bit spicy, and Scrivier couldn't read a Bayonnaise. The fake there allows Nightmare to just sink it for him, making him go up 2-1 in the series. A nice pass, just bounce it off the wall right over his head. That's really hard to adapt to. It's
Yeah,
2-1. That's
Abayane is very good value for money so far this game. Top of his leaderboard, a goal and an assist, and 4 more shots that didn't end up turning into anything. But he's been the difference maker so far, letting Dizzle take a little bit of rest, and it's Nightmare that puts that goal away. Jersey Devils down again. How do they come back from this?
I'd say honestly that they just need to take that deep breath on defense. Just allow the mistake to come through from Foglets. And once that happens, then you can punish. You know, there's so many times in tiers where, like right there, Calicat I think just panicked. It's the panic that really gets you. That's what causes all these mistakes, and that was a nice forced error from Abayane, is just getting Calicat to jump at something that she really didn't need to. There was nobody challenging her, and she just kind of hits it right out in the middle of the field for, I can't remember who scored, but whoever it was, just sink that one.
Yeah, it's been the story of this series, as is the case in many prospect winning teams, as Dizzle will pick up his second of the game and the Foglets fourth. They've just been so much quicker on the loose balls, and their logical just breezes by that one, and Dizzle makes no mistake putting that ball into an empty Jersey Devils half, and you really don't see them coming back from this one with just over a minute to go. And Foglets, of course, the tale of this rivalry is Abayane, who was on the Jersey Devils earlier this season, now on the Foglets, and will probably, most likely, take a 3-1 win over his old team. And Jersey Devils really, since their first game win, which was a little bit fortunate, a really good bit of skill from Bad Example in the final seconds of that game 1 win, they haven't really exerted much control over this series at all. As Nightmare picks up his second and the Foglets fifth, it's just this game 4 is turning into a rout for the Foglets.
Yeah, Nightmare has some really just, he's got all the time in the world to shoot that. He's got a wide open net. That's pretty hard to miss. I mean, although to be fair, an open net is probably the hardest shot in the game. But
Undoubtedly,
when you are up by 4, it's not very hard to hit an open one. Dizzle trying to make another goal happen as Nightmare clears it into the corner, almost, but a save from Scrivier. That was pretty nice. But it's kind of hard to make some magic happen when you're down by 4 and 30 left. I think this one's chalk, guys. Nightmare again, logical, into the corner. I don't know what this means for each team in their respective division. I don't know if either one was fighting for first or what, but I think Foglets have sealed themselves as the better team for now with this 3-1.
It's an absolutely massive win for the Foglets, who I believe were one win behind. No, it looks like they were 1 win ahead of the Jersey Devils preceding this series, and now they've just really asserted their place at the top of the Lunar Ocean division, ahead of the Jersey Devils and a couple of teams a little bit farther behind them. But Foglets very much in that playoff hunt, very much locked in the playoffs, actually, and it looks like it might even be one of the teams that gets a bye. I don't remember exactly how prospect playoffs work, but mind-blowing display from the Foglets. Really, it shouldn't even have been that close. Jersey Devils were good in game 1, but Foglets were up 3-0 in game 2. Jersey Devils almost came back. Foglets were up 3-0 in game 3. Jersey Devils didn't really come back. And in game 4, it wasn't even really a challenge. Jersey Devils made a couple of subs, and I don't really know mentally that it worked out for them. And in the end, when what we expected to be even didn't really turn out to be as such, but maybe sometimes it just comes down to who performs on stream, and Foglets were really, really locked in tonight.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say thank you for both teams for playing on stream. Like that takes a lot of guts. It's really hard to kind of perform in front of other people. So,
Late, too.
like, yeah, especially this late. So appreciate both of them signing up. I think both teams played well. It's just this day, the Foglets were the better team, but I think next time it could be anyone's game the same way. Since I mean their records were so close. If one thing goes the other team's way, gosh dang it, I already forgot their name. Well, I don't know why. I'm a terrible caster. But you know what I mean. Like it it's just something else to play on stream as someone who has done it this season. It gets your that anxiety up of like, oh my god, I got to perform or whatever. And um, so I just want to say thank you to those teams as we get into this next match, the Microwaves versus Mothra in Contender. Some pretty crazy team names, both M's.
These are unbelievable team names. You really
let's
want to
get
see
into
the Microwave show up. Maybe go radioactive tonight.
Yeah,
Blow us away.
See if they can heat some, see if they can cook Mothra a good meal as we get into the team stats here.
Oh my gosh.
Into the Steam tats. Jeez, I am just running it down as a caster. Is there anything other than pretty much the, again, same stats? I mean, the shooting percentage for Mothra is a little bit higher, but is there anything you're seeing that could make a difference in this next game?
I just want to say quick GGs to all the players involved in that last game as we move into this next series. Actually pretty bizarre so far this season to have 2 matches on stream, and it was late before. It's really late now for these teams, and now it really comes down to the mental game. Who's drinking more G Fuel? Who's drinking more Red Bull? Who's on their game? Who's raised their seat higher? Who's leaning more forward? When it's late, it gets tough, and with these 2 teams so evenly matched, it really just depends on who's on their game more. See, even that one stat exactly even on goals against. As we wait for the players to get into the lobby, maybe we can talk a little bit about their individual stats. It looks like we have a couple of players for each of these teams that are very much starting almost every game. And oh my gosh, excellent player names again this game. YPT? YPT?
Should have called him
Microwaves? Petey? All right, I'm told we should call him Petey. JCR dude for the Microwaves as well.
I'm just calling
Missionary
him
Jack and Dill, maybe short for Dylan, for the Mothra. And Stale Popcorn Rachi and Blind Beast Zippy the Gnome rotating in and out, respectively, even. It looks like in this game, we've got Stale Popcorn, who's coming in for the Microwaves, and who's coming in? Blind Beast for the Mothra. At least at the beginning, like we saw last game, could be some subs happening. But who are you looking out to be the difference makers in this match?
The difference makers are definitely for Mothra, the players with the most games, Missionary Jack and Dill. And I mean, it seems to me like Wavelengths kind of have like a set roster, with PD, JCR, and Stale, and I guess like Rocky probably fills in here and there, but it seems like they have kind of a standard 3. But with Mothra, they kind of have like a little bit of a switch up game, as both their other 2 players have 19 games each, but the difference in goals between them, I mean, that's just 5 goals in favor of Blind Beast. So I guess I'm not sure who's going to be making the difference, but it's probably going to be the 2 players that play the most. As we get into this next game here,
that is what you expect.
I would like to ask a question to the crowd and to you, Captain Fish. Is there anything you do to get mentally ready for a game, or is there anything where you just like can't play if it's happening?
Well,
as we get a goal in the first 3 seconds.
Well, according to this, these early signs, JCR dude maybe can't defend if Blind Beast is winning that kickoff so well. But it's a tough kickoff as Mothra get the lead so early in the game. I gotta say, I'm garbage half the time, so I have no pregame or anything like that. Maybe some players who are in Premier just like eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich every series, and that's why they're so good. I don't really know how that kind of stuff works, but maybe Blind Beast just drank his little extra shot of G Fuel there, and that's why he had the edge on that kickoff. But we'll see going into this game. At a little bit of a fluke early goal. Who really makes the difference here? It's been a little back and forth in the first 30 seconds.
I just wanted to say that because for me personally, if my feet are cold, I absolutely just can't play the game.
Oh,
I could
boy.
I would be having a great night, but if my feet are cold, absolutely not. Can't play. I just have to give it up. Chalk.
Are you ever a socks off kind of guy?
Oh, heck no. Only when I go to bed. Only when I go to bed. I can't sleep with socks. But I just, I didn't know if I was alone in that, where it's like, if your feet are cold, it's just all over. You know what I mean?
No, I probably agree with you, but I'm pretty much always wearing socks.
Yeah, well, even with socks on, sometimes your feet get cold. But get back in it. Let's get into this. Let's see what happens as we're in the Microwaves half here. A really dangerous ball. Missionary Jack with some excellent control as he reads it off the ceiling. It's a nice little pop towards the net, but it's saved away. Dale Popcorn into Y. Petey. Petey takes it and dumps it top right.
Oh, Petey with a really good equalizing goal there. Just had to edge Beast on that little bit of speed there. And he did so. He got that in that top right corner. And maybe Blind Beast with himself with a little bit cold feet on the defensive line. Couldn't catch up to either of those microwave forward balls. And they get some good control over this game. JCR dude not been really involved so far as he tries to put one towards net there. Dill plays it straight back into the feet of Stale Popcorn. It's going to bounce off backward. Maybe a chance here. Really, in this tier, it's so hard to tell what these players are able to read, and that's what makes it so entertaining.
Yeah, this is it's really a coin flip every time something happens, and I mean, no offense to anybody in this tier, that there are some things that are where you just do something real goofy, but it'll end up working out somehow, and I mean
sure,
that happens in that. Yeah, that happens in Premier too, but I would say that the consistency of goofiness to rank the ratio is a little bit higher down here, but still, it's like some of these people have jobs or whatever. No one's an RLCS in this league, so
No, if you're not Premier, you're just not trying hard enough.
Right, all these people, sometimes they're just here to have fun, and I kind of wish I was a lower tier because there's less pressure on you overall.
Absolutely,
but,
yeah. As a Chally guy, I can absolutely confirm.
Like the expectations are so much lower for you, and unless you really want to get better, like there's like almost, you can just relax and kind of vibe the whole season as we get a nice almost shot, but it just goes a little bit wide for Mothra as the game is even. 2 minutes left here. Missionary Jack sends it into JCR, dude. It's on the wall now. Dill trying to do something with it. Hits it off the backboard, but it's accidentally hit away. Missionary Jack going to try and take it off JCR.
Well, it was YPD earlier had a really good play where he took 2 Mothra players out of the game. And in the end, Blind Beast was there to make a save, unlike on that first ball. And Blind Beast actually might just let this one roll into the net as the Microwave's defense couldn't get back towards it. Not hot enough for this one. Blind Beast just rolls it towards the net, and with his second good fortune goal of the game, maybe smart on the clearance, but Mothra find themselves ahead again in what's really been a game that's very difficult to tell who's been on top.
Yeah, see that's exactly what I was saying. Where it's like sometimes goofy stuff happens. Like, we just had 2 moments in a row where some goofy stuff happened, and it ties the game right up for both teams. Now it's just who can keep it less goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Missionary Jack are making it very goofy on the field. I'd even go have a talk with Mickey Mouse after that little whiff on the goal line. Unfortunately, Mothra, I don't know. It's
oh my goodness.
It's working out, I guess, and it's even, but in this first game, which, like you mentioned last series, is very much a feeler game, it's just been so weird, and I don't really know how else to put it.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was like. Not that any of these people are bad at the game or anything. It's just consistency that really matters down here, and the less times you miss the ball or make it weird for your team or anyone else on the field, the better your team usually does. As Missionary Jack takes it into the corner, that was a nice read off the ceiling. Oh, a corner bounce, cleared away by Petey. Nice double commit. Actually pinches it quite fast at the net, but dude is ready to read that. Petey again in the corner, kind of chilling here. We've kind of hit a lull in the action here as Dill pinches it high. JCR into Petey again. It's going to head probably back towards the Microwave's half as Stale misses the shot. But Blind Beast just beats him to the ball, and that puts
unbelievable.
Mothra 3-2 with 18 seconds left.
He calls himself the Blind Beast, but he very much sees everything faster than the Microwave defense is, securing his hat trick with that extra little bit of speed. And he's on top of his leaderboard. for a reason. He's been absolutely locked in. A little bit of good fortune on those first 2 goals. Very much not the case with that one. Absolutely meant that one. Pete has been really good for the microwave so far. Couldn't make it back to that one. I'm pretty sure his name is Pete. The temptation to call him Waipati is very strong though. In the end, catches this one. Might be able to bring it forward if not for Dill putting it down, securing the win for Mothra, who take game 1 in very unconventional fashion. Probably not sustainable method of winning games, but they'll take it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those. We'll take those. You know, you just kind of. All right, you know, like we had there's some stuff happen, and honestly, I think from here on out, again, it's just anyone's game. I mean, Blind Beast really just showing up. This 3, he got the hat trick and everything. He really came to win, and I mean, if I'm Microwaves, all you guys got to do is just play just a little more consistent. You don't have to hit the ball every time. You know, sometimes it's better to just let the ball go over you. You know, that because if it's not dangerous, you know, there's no point in hitting it if it goes over you. You know,
Well,
just let the person behind you. Wait,
I
what were
can
you saying?
confirm Microwaves are making a very early sub as Stale Popcorn. His 2 assists not enough for the Microwaves last game, and Rocky depends on whether or not he's Italian, comes in for Microwaves. See if he makes a difference in this second game.
Yeah, this sub should hopefully switch it up a little bit for the Microwaves, as Stale Popcorn just got thrown out because you can't eat it anymore. That's just a joke. He probably wasn't thrown out, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Sure, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Don't even.
Honestly, the Microwaves can't possibly be working if the popcorn is stale. Like, what's that about?
Exactly. Kind of a weird draft, if you ask me. I mean, I wouldn't pick up anybody named. It doesn't fit the theme. Anyway, I'm just memeing.
How do we pronounce this guy's name? Is he Italian or not?
I'm gonna go with Rocky.
Good value there. Good early sub. Make good early save for the sub. JCR able to clear it out. A couple of bounces off the wall. Came off Missionary Jack. Rocky stopped his push. Otherwise, he might have been there for the goal. Pete is going to play this in. It's a good 50, but Dill is going to play it out to Blind Beast, whose speed has been too much for the Microwaves defense so far in the series. His Missionary Jack, not a good touch there. Rocky again.
Holy cow.
Almost makes it back to that one, if not for the save from Dill that turned into a corner bounce. We've seen Rocky potentially get into a couple of positions and then back off his run, back off his momentum. Otherwise, he could have turned one of those 2 chances into goals.
Yeah, this Rocky swap has definitely created some openings for the Microwaves to score. It's just that little bit, like if it were just a little bit more left, a little bit more right, you know, then it would go in. Missionary Jack creating somebody dangerous, just couldn't quite reach it, and now it's back at the mid with a 50 between Pete and Beast. JCR is going to have it off the wall. Gosh, you know, if you are in this tier and you want to get a little bit better, just don't ever clear it off the wall like that.
For real.
Absolutely not. Just never do that. As he just bangs it in, top left. Over 2 of the defenders. Nice one, Petey. That was a well-placed shot. Rocky with the fake gets it past Jack. Dill and Blind Beast just couldn't compensate for the miss, and that puts Microwaves up 1.
Well, for Contender, that's a good shot. Dill is poorly placed in the middle of the goal. Blind Beast not able to stop his momentum once he hits back post, and the shot just goes behind him. Microwaves looking good so far with the Rocky swap, who's had some presence in midfield. He's had those saves on the back line. He had that fake, whether intentional or not, which led to that shot from Petey, Waipatiti. In the end, Microwaves 1-0 up. And hopefully they can keep this up. They've looked good so far. Mothra have had twice the shots for the Microwaves too, but on the eye test, it's Microwaves who've looked superior halfway through game 2.
Yeah, as we hit the 2 minutes and 30-second mark, Microwaves are putting the pressure on Mothra as they get another goal. Rocky showing up. You remember if anyone has seen Infinity War, you know, when Scarlet Witch comes down and the lady's like, why was she up there this whole time? You know, That's Rocky. Why was he on the bench if he's showing up, dropping almost 400 points in his first game?
Yeah, no
Not even
kidding.
halfway
Not even
over.
halfway through. Rocky already the difference maker in a big way for this Microwaves team, who have had some aluminum foil put in them because they're absolutely exploding so far, as JCR dude almost able to get another one on target there. Mothra, they've had some shots, almost as many as the Microwaves. Haven't able to get anything out of it though, and Dill has had to come up with a couple saves himself. The Microwaves have looked really good with this switch, and you have to wonder, with the amount of substitutes that we've seen tonight, if Mothra will think about one themselves after this game. JCR dude plays it out straight into Dill in the corner. Pete plays it slow, gets dunked on by Missionary Jack, who turns away. Rocky will be able to get a 50 off Blind Beast. JCR dude will have to get another one from Dill, whose shot and speed is too good, and gets a nice shot from Rocky in the chat for that one.
What a slammer from Dill here. He just ripped that one and sent it stupid fast. That was heading Mach 7 at the bar. Just bounced right in. Puts him 1 goal down now. It's anyone's game at this moment. I mean, it's still a little bit more Microwaves because they have that 1 goal difference. But thanks for that insurance. But you know, you can't get complacent right now. If Dill's taking those kinds of shots, as Rocky gets a really big clear to put the pressure on Mothra. Jack and Rocky 50 it, but it's going to end up in the Mothra corner.
Yeah, there's a reason they say 2-0 is the most dangerous lead, because you feel good, you feel secure, and then that 2-1 goal comes in, and suddenly you're feeling a little bit nervous, a little shaky in your boots. And Dill, you wouldn't expect to see him put in a goal of that quality, with the worst shooting percentage on his team so far this season, even including their substitute. This Blind Beast is demoed there by Rocky, who was all over the field for the Microwaves this game. Missionary Jack can't reach that one. Luckily, no shooters on the Microwaves end. Rocky still playing this one again, able to get it inside to Pete, who plays it off the corner. Rocky can't quite reach it and get a shot away. But I got to comment on the points so far, because Missionary Jack was on 82 before making that save. Blind Beast still on 82. Dill, 450. His goal, 2 saves, 4 shots. The only difference from Mothra so far, you want to see Missionary Jack or Blind Beast step up to get that equalizing goal, or at least be involved in it. Otherwise, Dill's going to have to put on a clinic by himself. While Rocky, very much involved in the strength of team on the Microwaves end so far. 30 seconds left to go.
Seems like Rocky is really just being that, forgive me for the lack of a better word, but that rock for Microwaves. You know, he's all over the place. He's right where he needs to be. His positioning is impeccable. Dill almost puts another one in. He was so close. If he just angled his car a little bit different, that goes in. But it's still up. Still up. 0 seconds. Still up. Do we get a double commit? Oh my gosh, we do, but it's kind of funky. It's still in the air here. We'll see what happens as Blind Beast. Oh no, he couldn't get the clear. Microwaves take game 2.
Well, that was a close one. We saw Mothra take game 1 in, like I said before, unsustainable fashion. Lots of good fortune. In the end, they just edged out on the amount of luck they had. Blind Beast really made the difference at the end. But it's this game, Rocky not quite top of the leaderboard, but you could really see the difference that he made. Such a big presence, and JCR himself remaining the enabler. And Pete ever present as Rocky leaves the game. Could we see stale popcorn coming back into the match? Could we see him reinvigorated by the heat of his newborn Microwave power?
I guess I'm just confused as to why you would sub him out after Rocky had an absolutely stellar game. I mean, I guess he's maybe feeling better or something, but I don't know. I wouldn't drop Rocky just yet. No offense to Stale, but dude he just had Mothra's number. Game 3, as we get into it, I'm just curious to see if Stale can kind of put up that same exact consistency as Rocky did in game 2.
Rocky, a real difference maker. This is a curious mental change from the Microwaves here. You bring in the player who you subbed out after only 1 loss. It's strange in itself to make a sub that early in a series. It's even stranger to bring him back in after you win game 2.
Well, you know what? I think maybe the morale is different now that they've won game 2, and you know, again, they did have 2 you know, they both had 19 games. I think they kind of had like some kind of deal where, you know, they're both going to play equal amounts, and you know, and as long as they're having fun and having a good time, what does it matter? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, just wins and losses. This league is just for fun, guys. You know, you got.
I mean, yeah, I'm
Sometimes
talking
people
about this
forget
as
that.
if it's serious, but maybe microwaves is just vibes.
Yeah. And
Missionary Jack has a chance here. No, wait, he's going the wrong way. I'm not reading the field.
no worries, it
No,
happens.
microwave. Oh, I was just assuming he would own goal.
Oh,
The microwaves that
yeah.
little bit of boost early on in this game 3.
That
The
would
stale
be what
popcorn's
we're
able to play it over
calling.
the head of Dill onto the car of Blind Beast, whose shot is almost amazing. Missionary Jack not able to put in that open net. And I think it was last series where we were talking about open nets. Probably when you're as far up as the Foglets were in that game 4 of last series, it's probably easiest to put in open nets when you're either like 3-4-0 down or 3-4-0 up, because then the pressure's off. Missionary Jack not able to put that one away because only a minute into the game, when you just won the last game, Microwaves have made another sub to try and make a difference. The pressure's very much on, and he's not able to make it happen. It's Pete pushing it forward, and it's been very back and forth again. Almost even on the shots so far with these teams. No goals yet in game 3.
The lack of goals this game has me kind of worried. I think this is going to be one of those where it just kind of is a bit stale. You know, for most of the game. Just kidding. I get absolutely dunked on because of my casting by Dill, who puts in a great shot off the sidewall. What his placement and everything. JCR couldn't do anything about it. That was really well placed. And
We're
that
wondering
puts
how it gets
Mothra up.
stale.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's put Mothra up 1-0 in this game 3, yeah? Can I count?
Yeah, and worrying signs early on for the Microwaves, who made that bizarre sub, if we're assuming that they're taking this seriously, which might not be the case. Might just be vibes. But Stale Popcorn wasn't able to get that read on the sidewall, and Dill with a little bit of training, a little bit of good fortune. That one very much not an accident, as he puts that one in near post. Really good bit of speed from him, really good bit of pressure. He find himself with 2 goals and 2 saves, absolutely dominating his team again on the stats lines, as he has 10 times as many points as both of his teammates. But this time, he's not losing. It's working out, and Mothra are 2-0 up early on, and now you really worry for the Microwaves.
Yeah, pretty sure Dill has more points than everyone in the game combined right now.
Oh yeah,
which
he does.
is absolutely nuts.
Unbelievable.
Considering they're about halfway through the game. Like that's wild. As he gets a big clear out in the mid, and it gets sent right back his way. Pete is gonna take that off the backboard to Stale, but both of them miss. JCR takes a shot. That's gonna go bar out. But it's a wide open net. It's just one to beat, Pete. One to beat, Pete. One to beat. Oh, almost. This goes off the post. But JCR is there. 50 by Blind Beast. Pete passing it back to Stale. That was a good pass back. It's just Stale wasn't quite ready for it. He couldn't get it into a good spot. And Dill passing it to Missionary. One to beat again. As it's on the backboard. JCR with a nice pinch. Gets control of it. It's in the corner now. JCR off the backboard. No one could quite do anything about it.
Oh my.
It's another one. I think Microwaves are getting a little too antsy here. Oh,
So many whiffs in the Mothra half. It's hard to count them, and pretty unbelievable that no goals went in. Dill puts another one towards goal, and Pete is there. I think Pete's kind of feeling himself, even though his team is down. He had a one-on-one. And he went for a slow airplay, which all credit to him. Got to have the confidence to be a good player in this tier. And he's had pretty good saves, pretty good presence on the challenges from Pete this series. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough this game, as Mothra go 2 in a row probably after a couple of. Excuse me, Mothra didn't win last game. But Microwaves looking very weird after making that Stale Popcorn sub. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm blubbering.
That's okay. We all blubber here and there. But JCR doesn't look like he's blubbering as a pass off the backboard, but no one's there to quite clean it up for him. It's going to be caught by Stale in the mid as it gets sent to YPD, but it seems like there's a little bit of miscommunication between Stale and Pete. And JCR just kind of looks a little bit lost as his teammates are in the middle of kind of arguing over who gets the ball first. Again, with another just double commit. It causes a third goal to come through. They just can't quite figure out who needs to be where, and I'm gonna call that a pre-flip because technically it was, but that doesn't mean it was intentional. All
I
right,
give him all the credit in the world. Unbelievable
yeah.
play by Blind Beast. He's returning out of the Microwaves goal, makes absolutely no mistake on the end of that pass from Missionary Jack, and turns to another goal. And I didn't miss the chance. Microwaves very much looking stale this game 3, as Dill has been extremely good. And Blind Beast, maybe with another little bit of good fortune, has been the tail with many of his goals so far this series. Dill again there to make the difference, put away his hat trick. Mothra been really good this game 3, and yeah, you really do wonder for the Microwaves, like, do they make another sub? Do they bring Rocky back in? Do they bring Rocky back in for Stale Popcorn? And what does that make Stale Popcorn feel like? Again, this is with the assumption that they're taking this seriously. I don't know. Microwaves might just be chilling out, doing whatever they want. And Pete puts that one away excellently, but Mothra are gonna go 2-1 up in the series.
Nice little compensation goal there with 4 seconds to spare. And, you know, I have a feeling that they're going to continue with the trend of just sub and stale and Rocky. And we'll have to see how this game 4 goes. I have no clue. You know, honestly, I feel like we've been ragging on Stale a little bit too much. And I don't think he's a bad player or anything. It's just his name is quite memeable, you know? So hopefully he doesn't take it the wrong way. He seems like a good person. You know,
We've
I
had
like
some
his
good
profile
names
picture.
in this stream.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out. It's all in good fun, you know. It does appear like they are doing the sub though with Rocky. Still has just left the match, and I hope he has a good night. Hopefully he, you know, if Rocky comes back, you know, everybody say goodbye to him. This will probably be the last time he's on stream for
Oh my
tonight.
gosh.
Yeah, Rocky is back in the game. We will see what happens if Microwaves can kind of pull it all together for this last game here. Dill absolutely showing up every game this series. Dude has
Yeah.
been a pop-off machine.
Dill has been all over the place, and Microwaves probably just in good fun, bringing Rocky back on for Stale Popcorn, who didn't really have any influence on that game 3, and wasn't really effective in game 1 either when he was on the field. But you know, he's chilling, and as we said, it's late. It's hard to perform on stream when it's this late, and you've got a little bit of pressure. You know, there's a lot of people watching. But as we get into this this game 4, it is unironically sort of a crucial series for both of these teams, because there's a playoff hunt going on here in Contender.
You know, it's nearing the end of the season for pretty much just about every team, and no, every team. It is ending the season, but you know, it's every game is kind of important from here on out. So we'll have to see how it plays out, and you know, I just want to say, like, you know, Stale, dude, don't worry about it. You know, sometimes bad feels happen, but I think he played well overall. As Blind Beast just, you know, takes a, you know, shot in the dark, as some would say. Since he's blind, he can't see. Everything's dark. You know.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
It goes all. I don't know how to explain all the I over-explained it, but you know, like, yeah, that puts Mothra up 1 goal here as we get into game 4. Let's see if Rocky and the Microwave crew with PD and JCR can bring it back.
Well, there's been a few trends this series, and Blind Beast, being the beneficiary of some good fortune, has very much been one of them. I think that's his 5th, you could say, quote, lucky goal of the series. And maybe Missionary Jack's putting in some prayers for him. That one absolutely not a mistake, because the ball lands for him right in front of the Microwaves goal. Microwaves up, Mothra up early again by 2. And now Microwaves, even with Rocky in, who's already got a save to his name, it's not looking good for them. Blind Beast has been effective, only a minute in, granted, but Mothra gonna look to take this series 3-1.
I'm pretty sure for somebody that's blind, he might have an aimbot, some kind of macro that just shoots it right on target every time. That's a nice demo for PD as it kind of rolls.
Oh no!
JCR cleans it up. What a demo play. Honestly, I think if microwaves want to come back, that's exactly the route to take. What a play.
Well, we were talking Goofy. Let's get back to Goofy, because that's what that was. A couple of monster players on the goal line there. Neither of them able to clear it out. Just lingers. It's bouncing curiously on the goal line. Like half of the ball is shaded and half of it is out. JCR dude stuffs it in. Microwave's back on a little bit of good luck. But yeah, that's what they need. They just need to throw stuff at the Mothra goal, which I don't feel they've been doing enough of.
I think just taking a pot shot here and there just to see what happens. Like,
I mean, hey, it's worked for Blind Beast.
Yeah, dude is just throwing shots left and right, and some of them are going in. So I think you could easily get away with that at this tier and have it work out for you. And Rocky's taking it into the corner here. It looks to be a nice play, but again, these demo plays are coming out. Pete killing somebody on the other team. I can't remember who just spawned, but that is opening a lot of holes in the defense for Mothra, causing a lot of panic. And I think that's a great way to switch it up on another team if you really need a goal or some kind of way to just get the other team a little bit panicky. It's just that demo, you just kill somebody.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, a little side flip. That's unlucky, truly. But this game is still. There's still half a game left. It's not even a worry. Blind Beast has an absolutely nuts series this so far. I want to make that clear. Dude has just been off his rocker the whole time. Just
picking
shot
up
at
a crazy amount of goals. And granted, he's got a 36, almost 37% shooting over the course of the season up to this point, even though he hasn't played that much. Less than 20 games under his belt, but he's been unbelievable tonight. You have to wonder how they drop him after this point. But
yeah,
he's looking to lead his team again. Lots of time left. Looking to lead his team to a 3-1 series win, which would take the Mothra above the Microwaves into the #1 seed in the Solar Division, Solar League.
Dylan, dude, he is nuts.
Gosh.
Dylan and Blind are just taking these games by storm. What a touch. That was just well placed. Everything about that was just so nice. And they're just finding all of these holes in the microwave defense. Not that they're leaving a lot of them, but it's just keeping them that far ahead every single time. And unfortunately, I don't think microwaves can find a way to compensate for that.
If you've got holes in your microwave, it's not going to get hot very easily. And microwaves haven't been able to do that, bar game 2, where Rocky had a sensational game. Hasn't been able to make that much of a difference so far in game 4. And Mothra really running away with it now. Blind Beast, he's been the goal scorer, but Dill, you can really see the difference he's making all over the place. 1 goal, 2 assists, 1 save in this game. That's an all-round stats from Dill in this game 4.
I would like to point out real quick, fun fact for the crowd, that microwaves do have...
This guy's unbelievable.
He's just crazy. Honestly, I don't think that he could do any wrong at this point, but microwaves do have holes in them. That's why, like they have that little screen with all the holes when you look at it through the window, That's because those holes block the microwaves. They're too small for them to get through. That's a layman's way of saying that microwaves are weird. I learned that from Neil deGrasse Tyson, so it's got to be true.
Well, maybe a better way to put this then would be that this microwaves team doesn't have the holes in them because they have imploded since game 2.
Yeah, they are really struggling. Dill just going for demos. This is a wide open net. This is going to be so sad if nobody can do anything with this.
Oh, JCR.
JCR. No,
not quite.
Tragedy on the goal line. That's that open net stuff, man. It's so hard to hit those, especially like if you're down or whatever. Like you absolutely need that. I think maybe the stale popcorn, it didn't matter either way. I think Blind Beast and Dill were just too much for microwaves to handle this game. It's just someone said that they could charge their iPhone in it, and microwaves fell for it.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's a really good showing for Mothra, and they're very much deserve this 3-1 series win. Microwaves looked a little bit dicey, but hey, maybe with those subs, with this very late game, I mean, if they're on the East Coast, it's past midnight now. They're having fun with those substitutes. Rocky himself has even readied up, even though the series is over. He wants more. He's just vibing at this point. But Mothra, I mean, they jump Microwaves in the standings. They go above them for number 1 in their what do you call Solar and Looter? Divisions, tiers, conferences is the word.
Conferences, yeah.
Yeah, so they're second overall now, behind a really mind-blowing Dauntless team and the Lunar, who's only lost 8 games all season and won 44. This is a really good matchup from the Microwaves and the Mothra, and it's really good value for entertainment. Well played to both of the teams. Really tough to play this late on stream, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I had a blast. Honestly, both these teams. Again, I want to thank all of you guys for signing up for the stream. It really takes a lot of guts to play on stream in front of everybody. So it's really appreciated, and it keeps the RSC community alive. So make sure if you guys next season or later, in these next match days, if you guys want to sign up for streams, it's fun for everybody. So yeah, I think I'm gonna